Everybody knows things are bad. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and nobody anywhere seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore.
I've been lit for days. I wish my life was on a different page. I got peers and they got shit for brains. If you calm, you must have missed the rage. Me and the homies in our hundreds, but who's counting? We all ditched our rage. I got a biddy with a booty, don't stop. That shit clap like a crowd, that 187 to cop. I know a guy with an IQ that's peaking the top. He got a felony on his sheet, he pushing the mob. There's a house of cards being built around me and you. No sign of the doors or windows, but they'll sell you the view. Most of these homebodies pay the rent, but ain't got a clue. It's the same old kidnapping, just the ransom is new. The world we living in is really stranger than fiction. My fucking strength done gave me pills to kick my Twitter addiction. Some of you folks fragile, scared to make a decision. Congratulations, your staleness is your prison.
I don't want you to protest, I don't want you to riot, I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being, god damn it! My life has
I'm
value!
in the danger zone, the feds listen when I'm on the phone. I ain't special, that's just how it's going. Yesterday I had to smoke a clone. Got high enough to tap my dome. Started slurring like I'm Post Malone. It ain't an office, it's a rush to the loot. Outside a voting center, sign said, who got the juice? If we're a being capable of such a noble pursuit, then why ask the tree to stop making poisonous fruit? No system ever wanted us to win from the start. Imagine choking on the paint but still respecting the art. That's why these kids are willing to walk into the dark. And besides, a little danger can be good for your heart. You can peek behind the curtain, but it's on with the show. They think to shut this shit down, you gotta prove what you know. The only thing worse than clickbait from Donnie and Joe is the thought of either one of them fucking me slow.
And when the 12th largest company in the world controls the most awesome goddamn propaganda force in the whole godless world, who knows what shit will be peddled for truth on this network? Television is not the truth. Television is a goddamn amusement park. We're all you know. You're beginning to believe the illusions we're spinning here. You're beginning to think that the tube is reality and that your own lives are unreal. You do whatever the tube tells you. You dress like the tube. You eat like the tube. You raise your children like the tube. You even think like the tube. This is mass madness, you maniacs.
That it is. At this point, it's pretty much all madness. So we're really starting to get a peek into what's soon to come. Good evening, by the way. So Ticketmaster has come out today. I believe it was today that they came out. Anyway, it's in the headlines that they're working on, if you want to attend one of their events, you are going to have proof of either a COVID vaccine or a negative test. So if you want to go to a concert or whatever, you will have to have one of those two things, either proof of vaccine or a negative test. So we are already starting to see this happen on a private company, private corporation scale. Now, why is that important? Why am I pointing that out? Hitler is why I'm pointing that out, because that is how Hitler managed to be able to accomplish the things that he did without breaking a single law. He had other people do it for him. IBM. He had other companies and other individuals get their hands dirty because they were dumb enough to do it. All because he said to. Them trials, by the way, are still going on today, if I'm not mistaken. That is what I'm seeing right now. That is what I'm seeing right now. I've been saying I have been saying since COVID started that this was going to wind up being a mandatory vaccine. Why? Because I saw the transmissibility of it, and as soon as word was starting to wiggle out that that it had HIV-like traits to it, I knew. And now it would seem as time goes on, they're finding a little bit more and more out about it. I would highly recommend, as I've been recommending, if you're somebody that's, at risk, treat life as such. You definitely cannot expect anybody else to protect you. And that is the case regardless of where you go, other than your own home. Okay? Now, you have the right to protect yourself by any means necessary if you're in your own home. What do I mean by that? Well, if somebody demands to come, if you are at high risk and it is your request that anybody who enters your home, anyone that breaches your threshold, if they are required to wear PPE for your protection, and somebody tries to breach your threshold without said PPE, that's an issue in my book, a serious one. So, but aside from that, aside from inside your own home, your expectations should be nil, and protect yourself. Plain and simple, right? You have the right to do that. You have the right to self-preservation. You have the right to protect yourself. But if you are a person with this particular situation, please understand that nothing less than an N95 mask will do you any good. Okay? So, if you're looking not to catch it, you need an N95 or better. And if you're just trying to be courteous and not chance spreading it, cloth mask is all that's needed. So, but again, I'm talking specifically to those at high risk, not to anybody else. The only thing I have to even say to anybody else is, if a business asks you to wear a mask, that is a private corporation, and in the future, I don't want cake bakers to be asked to make cakes for people they don't want to, so please don't piss on the property rights of others. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. If a private corporation, if a private business, I didn't mean corporation necessarily, but if a private business, private entity requests something, you know what? That's their right. Accept it or not. Go somewhere else. That's all I ask. Not telling anybody what to do. Not playing any games as far as what states have a legal right to do and not. I can tell you that a private business owner can tell you to wear a mask. They have that right to tell you to wear a mask inside their business. Same as they have that right to tell you that you have to wear shoes and a shirt. So, there is that. But, again, to those that are high risk, I'll say it again. Don't have any expectations. Just because the store asks it doesn't mean that people are going to respect it. So, unfortunately, it's a very, very hypocritical society. We pick and choose who has what rights, when and where. So, That's why I stick to the Constitution and the Bible, because they're both, and not in that order, obviously, but they're both foundations. Okay, and all these answers to all of these things that seems to be plaguing everybody are in there. And when you seek the answers from the good book or the Constitution, you'll have a correct answer. Period. No matter how uncomfortable that answer may be, you'll have a correct one. Because right now, there's a correct answer that is extremely uncomfortable for the masses of people of the United States, but it is what it is. This election nightmare is still going on. More and more, I'm starting to look at this and going, Trump just might have a chance to pull this off. Fat lady hadn't sung. All right? And I'm telling you, this is an awful long time for her to be silent. So, be prepared. I know those that are leaned a little to the right would be very happy. But understand, and when I say this, by no means do I mean it should go any other way for any reason. But if they pull that at this point, and Trump is the one that does indeed get back in office, you can bet on some major chaos. Because, man, all those people right now are on cloud 9. They're on cloud 9. You yank those clouds out from underneath of all of those people, there's probably going to be a scuffle or two. So, be prepared for that. I don't know how this is going to go. I will say one thing, and I want you to please take this to heart. I think they, those, them, are using the election, whatever, to distract you from COVID-19, and more importantly, a mandatory vaccine that's coming. And I think they're going to ease into it by having several major private businesses step up and say, okay, well, you can't come here, you can't work here without the vaccine. And once they've got several companies on board with that, then they'll just keep layering it on till eventually everybody has to get it. And they'll do it quick. It'll be in short order. I would venture to say that without any doubt, before 2021 would be over, it would be a mandated vaccine for everybody. And that's being very generous in how long I think it's going to take. Man, I think that's going to be quick. And if you pay attention to the language and everything else when it's being discussed, it's concerning. Very concerning. You know, I've got a bit of an issue when it comes to the military. Distributing a vaccine in the manner in which they have themselves described they are going to distribute it. I don't think it's going to be a good day. And they're even calling it D-Day. That's what they're calling it. They're calling it D-Day. The day that they first started administering the vaccines, they are calling D-Day. 1 second. Yeah, I mean that's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. This is a pickle. It truly is. And I think if we want to come out or go through this in the best way, you're going to have to adapt a lot. You're going to have to adapt a lot. I don't know. There's some areas that I'm paying close attention to that I have not seen any movement at all today. And that's concerning. No news is not good news when it comes to the government. I haven't heard anything anymore that I really take a value on the military front. Which again is a bit concerning because, as you know, there's a big shuffle and hubbub going on with that right now. Again, there's been news come out about it, but it's not what I call news. I think Trump is up to something. I really do. And I think first he's going to see, and I said this already, I think he's going to see how well he fares with these lawsuits. And if that doesn't turn out in his favor, I think he's making sure he's got a good trick up his sleeve to make sure he doesn't go anywhere. Man. And when I think about this theory and I put it in place of the Bible, not in place of the Bible, but you know what I mean. If I try to layer it into the Bible, it matches up. It matches up. And I'd have to look to see exactly where in the Bible that it is. But it talks about, essentially Russia and China and a great war. And I think that's right where we're at. I think that's right smack where we're at. And don't be surprised if it doesn't start before January 20th. I'm not going to say the Bible's wrong. I'm not going to be that cat. The Bible says that's what's coming. Of course, it doesn't say a specific time or anything else. But it gives you clues. And there are plenty of clues to know where we're at. So that's why I've been so adamant lately on preparedness. You guys being prepared. You guys stitching up any loose ends and going over everything, staging stuff. You know, I still here and there grab something else and stage it. You know, so I highly recommend that everybody's doing that, because again, if an item that you need in a moment is somewhere that's going to take you minutes, that item's useless. So think it out. Get everything good to go. The reason why I say this might sound to some like this dude's paranoid. Yeah, and besides that, let's go to the topic of war. How long do you think it would take for a country like Russia or China to start dropping bombs on our country? And I don't want to hear no crap, oh, they can't do it, they can't do it. Oh, hell yes, they can. Much more effectively than we can do it to them at this particular point in time. Pentagon has said it any number of times. We do not have the technology that they do at this particular time. As far as I know, Trump was trying to change that. But Trump would have been the first president since Reagan to do so. So, everybody, all the presidents after Reagan let our military go to hell. In every way. So, there's that. It appeared like Trump was trying to bring it back around. That's all I can say. I mean, it appeared that way. And they have, secured funding and stuff for projects to update our military technology. And they're working on, diligently. I mean, they're making leaps and bounds from my understanding. Still not anywhere there, but they're working on it. That's what happens when you totally neglect something for that period of time. Not only is it going to start falling apart, but anybody else is going to have more updated stuff than you do. Well, we quit updating. I mean, I think there's a project right now that's updating the missile systems as far as the computers and stuff, the computer systems. I think, I'm not positive. But from my understanding, the majority of them still boot with a 3.5-inch floppy, if I'm not mistaken. Is it 3.5 or is it the 5-inch? I'm not positive, but yeah. So there's that. Which I kind of, to be honest, I don't know how much of an issue I have with that, as long as it's not connected to the big WWW at all, ever, in any way. Because sometimes simple is better. And as long as you can absolutely, without a doubt, secure your connection, you're good. And believe me, it can be done. By them, not by you and I. Yeah, just make sure you got everything ready. Make sure you're tying up any loose ends. I don't know. I don't think we got a long time before all this stuff really breaks loose. I think maybe we could possibly be entering a little bit of a calm before the storm. Possibly. So, 1 second. Oh, man. So, let me get this out of the way here. Put on some glasses. I do want to go over COVID numbers. Not all of them like we did before. Let me run through the normal stuff since we got our website back. Let me run through the normal stuff real quick, and I'll go over those numbers. Because there is, it's kind of concerning. and then we'll just kind of take it from there. So, let's see. Amazon affiliate, we are at $4.58. So thank you to those that participate in that. For those that don't know, we're an Amazon affiliate. There's a link in the description of all of our videos, as well as at the watchmannews.com in the top right there. It doesn't work on mobile devices. I was playing with that today. I am aware of that issue, that this entire top menu does not work on mobile devices. So I don't know. I was playing with that, trying to fix it. I don't know what's wrong with it, and it is what it is. Let me refresh. Oh, it refreshed on its own. I added something today, and I don't know if it's going to show up on the Brave browser here. I know it works on Google, but I'm not seeing it on the Brave browser. It does work on Chrome, though, however. Down here in the... let me try refreshing. Nope. So down here in the bottom right, where you see our spinning logo, but on the website, there's actually like a little Facebook Messenger icon, just obviously not with the Brave browser, and you can actually send a message straight to our Facebook page right from our website. So I did add that today, and again, I looked at the menus. I'm trying to figure out what's up. How come I can't get that menu to show up on a mobile as well? It's weird. I don't know. Don't know. I will get something squared away with it. I'm kind of trying to figure out a direction I'm going to go with the website too, because I am going to be doing a fair amount to it, and trying to get a good outline in mind before I kind of start going at it, because I built the site, like the base of the site, and then I never really did put any content there other than putting the archives and stuff like that. And it's an awesome site. I need a better menu system though. So anyway, sorry, tech geek stuff. So anyway, that's how you get to our Amazon affiliate link. Just click that link there, or the one in the description of the videos. That just takes you to Amazon. But it does so with our special link, and when you make purchases, those items don't cost you anything more, but it throws us a little bit for the sale, like a commission, and all those little bits add up at the end of the month. As you can see, it's not like we make a fortune doing it, but you know, hey. Let's see, we got that. We've got a Teespring store. The best way to see what we have there is go to the website here, thewatchmannews.com. Just scroll down on the home page, and we've got 4 different designs currently there. If you see one that catches your eye, you just click on the design, and there's all kinds of products. There's tote bags and coffee mugs and all of that with the design on it, and you can make your purchase there at Teespring. Now, we also have a PayPal donate link. That's in the description of the videos, as well as at thewatchmannews.com right there. You click that, it just takes you to our PayPal donate page. You don't have to have a PayPal account. You can do so as a guest with a debit or a credit card, but I always let people know it says Transforming Disabilities up top, but it also says Purpose, the Watchman News donation. That way you know you're in the right place. Let's see. Now, we have another sip. Not a good number for this time of day. Remember, as I had been saying here recently, that usually this time of the day the number is kind of low, because sometime in the afternoon is when they kind of start over and reset. I don't know when exactly, but it's sometime in the afternoon. And we're at 1,485 at this particular time in the evening, which is telling me that is going to go up. May not be by much, but by some. Now remember, yesterday, I believe it was like 11 or 1,200 something, and it marked. Oh well, this is new cases. Sorry, they were 128,769 fatal cases. They marked in at 1,366. So see, it went up from the time that I did the show. So you can expect that the 1,485 is going to go up by the time I do tomorrow's show. So, not good. Not good. And I'm glad that they kind of... Some of the stuff didn't seem like it was working before, but I'm getting it to work right now. Or maybe it was just me, but... like now I can actually go into Illinois here and bring up all the Illinois stuff, and then I can actually go down into the county and pull up the county. But that's as far as I can go, I believe. I don't think it will let me do towns, just counties. But that wasn't working for me before, so... Anyway, our particular zip code here, we are now at 775. Yesterday it was 757. So what's that, 17? Something near that, I think, ish. I don't know. Something like that. Not good. Again, we're not a big town. And you're going to have to where it rises and falls, rises and falls. But it's going to keep going up. It's going to keep getting higher and higher, those peaks, as this moves through. It's called a wave for a reason, and it's not going to stay so shallow. I would say you could probably expect a tsunami. That's what my suspicions are, my expectations are. I know here it seems like it's spreading like mad. It really does. I haven't personally seen the city come out and say anything else since the one time they had said something. It's kind of like they've been mum on it. I don't know. Kind of one of those things to where it's not a great position for anybody. That's just the facts. When I said the city hasn't said nothing, I'm not saying that I expect them to or they should, or I'm not. I don't know what the hell to do. How many times have you been in a global pandemic? And that's why I say, well, we need to go back to the foundation and look there, go to the foundation, look there. I don't know where the, again, back there, just out of reach of my arm, I've got more than one. Hang on. I'll show you. I'm gonna be made a liar. Okay, well, I'm a liar. Anyway, I thought I would, but unfortunately not. Trying to think, I thought I had I must have taken them in the other room. I had I've got them all over. That's why I thought I had some back there. I swear there was like 3 back there. Anyway, I didn't look that hard. So, always, I would recommend keeping a copy. Well, here's the other one. I would recommend keeping a copy, Copy of the Bible, copy of the Constitution. And that way, when you have questions, crack it open and ask. you know? Because, again, like I was mentioning with the city, and I bring the businesses and everything else into it, right? It's a sticky situation because the facts of the matter is the government does not have the authority to do these shutdowns and stuff like that on these businesses. They just constitutionally they do not. And that puts everybody in the middle from between whoever is calling for it and whoever is I don't know if you want to, I guess you could call it victim, whoever is victim from it, from the whole situation. Everybody in between is kind of screwed. I don't know what's going to happen here because they've been, as far as like the county and our particular area, they have been very steadfast with their constitution, and I commend them for that. Absolutely commend them for that. And they're standing firm. However, there is an issue as far as outbreak, and the governor knows about it. The governor has specifically mentioned our area in a press conference, probably a day or two, or I believe, ago. I was listening, and I mean, he specifically mentioned our area. And so he's definitely watching. And again, I'm not getting into any debates about this because I understand the constitutionality of it. I get it. But Constitution or not, it won't stop them from trying to do whatever the hell they want, because they've been doing that to us for a very long time. About more things or with more things than you could even imagine. You cannot believe the amount of unconstitutional things that we go through on a daily basis, and it's been normalized to us. And to be honest, it's absolute crap. It should not be normalized. The level of harassment on the American citizenry is ridiculous. It truly is. The amount of regulations and laws and this and that and the other thing, completely out of hand. Completely. I don't know what's going to happen. We've got an election nightmare going on. We've got a pandemic nightmare going on. We could wind up real quick with a foreign conflict issue going on. And I still want to know exactly, and I believe me, I know 2 different theories, and I know what the official operation was, all that stuff. But I still want to know what Dark Winter is. And again, I know. That doesn't mean that's necessarily the exact plan that they have for this winter. Just because they call it the same thing. They're not going to give you that clear of a roadmap, okay? They might give you a hint, but they ain't going to give you a clear roadmap, I'll tell you that. It's concerning. And what's even more bothersome for me is that it's winter. Well, of course, the beginning of. That's not good. And again, I'm one of those that fail to bring up the Bible verses, but there's one about the winter. Woe unto those. I can't remember the exact verse. And it's going to drive me nuts. There it is. Well, Matthew 24:19. And I think it's, hang on here. Because there's more to it. I mean, we often don't read, actually, I ought to read the whole thing. I will. Okay, this is Matthew 24, the King James Version. Okay? And I'm sure you're familiar with it, but let's take a read again, because I think things are a little different today than maybe the last time many of you have read it, including myself. I haven't read Matthew 24 in a little while. I need to start reading the good book, like designated, set apart time, like possibly in the morning every day. Okay, Matthew 24, it is the King James Version, and I will do my best. And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to shew him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, and the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming, and the end of the world? And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. Let me repeat that. Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Now, on that particular verse, I don't know necessarily that it's saying that they will come and particularly say that they are Christ. I think that it's saying that there are a lot of people that will say they represent Christ. Okay? But they don't. And they'll deceive many. And I think that includes many in the churches and all of that. The different religions and all. I think, I think that includes all of that. Not just somebody trying to claim to be the Messiah themselves. Anyway, I'll continue on. Because I think that's important. A lot of people... and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye not be troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. All of these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver up to you to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Seeing that right now. And I'm not just talking about beheaded Christians in the Middle East. I'm talking about people right here in the United States, including myself, that just want to try to live by the Father's words. That want to live set apart. Man, the people here can't stand it. It drives them absolutely crazy that all we want to do is keep to ourselves and live set apart. We don't want anything in the mama drama bullshit. We just want to live set apart. And you would not believe how much that eats at some people. They can't stand it. Makes no sense. Maybe they should try to be a better person. And if they're not interested, then leave us the hell alone. And when I say us, I'm not just meaning like Jen and I mean anybody that's trying to live set apart and not be involved in all the stupidity that is called society. Anyway, let me continue. I'm sorry. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let me scoot this over and see it with both eyes here. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. I'm going to repeat that. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in winter, neither on the Sabbath day. Telling you, I think that nastiness is gonna start, and it's gonna be cold. And if we lose our power grid, that right there is going to wipe out many. Now, we've got alternatives for heat, but they're not ideal. Not by any stretch of the imagination. It's not ideal. And we don't have any wood stored. So, right from the get-go, if it's me going and getting wood, it's going to be unseasoned. I ain't going to be able to chop a tree like Paul Bunyan, I'll tell you that. So, I'm just saying, things would be a bit less than ideal. For us and pretty much everybody. If you've got wood heat, and as far as cold temperatures, that's not going to be an issue for you. But there is a whole lot of the population that don't. For then, I'll go ahead and finish up. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake those days shall be shortened. Then if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall the I can't say this right, shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Sorry about that. For wheresoever the carcass is, and I never, where the eagles be gathered together. This is why I shouldn't try to read King James, but I always do anyway. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. Now, I will argue until my very last breath that is a description of pole shift. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. We need to stop right there for a second. Because there's a word in there that is very often misinterpreted and then used to support a fallacy. Let me give you the definition of that word. Test me if you would like. The word clouds, in this particular instance, is not talking about white fluffy things in the sky. Okay? Talking about a group of people. A group of people. Not white fluffy things in the sky. Test it. There's a dictionary you can look it up in. Not Webster's either. Let's see. Where are we? Let's see. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender, and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Verily I say unto you, the generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. But of the day and hour knoweth no man, no, not of angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall the coming of Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came, and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken, and the other left. 2 women shall be grinding at the mill, and one shall be taken, and the other left. Watch, therefore, for ye know not that the hour your Lord doth come. Now, in that I read was some of the other things that they use to support a pre-trib rapture. Okay? If there is a rapture of any kind, you need to understand that this is after this. This is the coming, okay? And if this is referring to a tribulation, it would be a post-tribulation. Now, I'm not quite sure I buy into any kind of a tribulation. I do believe personally that this means something totally different. But you know, again, I'm not here to teach this. I want you to go test it for yourself, all of it. But I really do not think that there's a rapture. Did I say tribulation earlier? If I did, I'm sorry. Rapture. I don't believe that there's a rapture. I think I did say tribulation. I'm sorry. Exchange that word for rapture. Certainly not a pre-trib rapture. It would have to be post-coming rapture if there is one. You do the homework, you test it. But I'm just saying. But know this, that if the goodman of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Kind of sounds like preppers and non-preppers there, does it not? Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think of the Son of Man cometh. Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord hath made ruler over his household, to give them meat in due season? Blessed is that servant, whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. Verily I say unto you, that he shall make him ruler over all his goods. And if that evil servant shall say in his heart, My Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to smite his fellow servants, and to eat and drink with the drunken, the Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of, and shall cut him asunder, and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be a weeping and gnashing of teeth. That is not the group that I want to be in. Do you? I don't. That is why I do what I can to keep the man happy. Because you can bullshit all you want in society. Not going to work with the Father. Not. Anywho. Have a vape here. For some reason. Starting to work now. Oh, man. All right. Let's see. Let's do some headlines. Okay. One second here. All right. Starting out with stuff I put out last night. Brennan and other spooks go full conspiracy theorist over suggestion cornered Trump will indeed declassify everything. So, yeah. Let's see. Now, that was the only thing I put out last night. Now, from today, we have the gavel. Democrats secure majority in the U.S. House of Representatives, but by slimmer margin. That's coming from AP. So, Turkey interested in producing pioneering Russian-developed Sputnik 5 coronavirus vaccines as Moscow. The U.S. to expand sanctions against Russia's Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline. Recant your story. U.S. postal worker tells Washington Post after report he backtracked on claims of election fraud. From my understanding, that's not true. There's a lot of craziness going on, but the proof is in the pudding, and there's a lot of fraud being investigated right now. That's the facts. That's the facts. A lot of fraud, election fraud, being investigated right now. That's the facts. That's the only facts that really anybody can say at this time, but it is indeed happening. Mongolia records first local COVID-19 transmission, imposes 3-day lockdown in capital. India could be the next breakout natural gas market. Hong Kong government has power to disqualify lawmakers who endanger national security, says China's top legislative body. You hear that? Hong Kong government has power to disqualify lawmakers who endanger national security, says China's top legislative body. Right? It's just, oh, well, if they endangered national security, well, that's understandable. Oh, yeah? So who determines that? Exactly. TikTok asks courts to stop Trump's divestment orders. Cities lack substantive? That's supposed to be substantive. I can't even say it, but I don't know if that's spelled right. Feedback, and if it is, then I'm a moron. Why is Russia accused of undermining the U.S. by not recognizing its election results before Americans themselves call a winner? I'm thinking the word substantial is the word I'm trying to think of. Substantial. I think that's what it's supposed to be, substantial. Oh, well. Russian COVID-19 vaccine Sputnik 5 is 92% effective and causes no serious side effects. A preliminary report on phase 3 trial. Bahrain's long-serving Prime Minister, Khalifa bin Salman Al Khalifa, dies at age 84. That's one hell of a name, man. Thank God my name's a lot shorter than that. Scientists discovered gene within a gene hiding among coronavirus nucleotides. So, if you know what all that means. Several injuries following attack at non-Muslim cemetery in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia during Remembrance Day ceremony. England plans evacuation-style operation to get university students home for Christmas after COVID-19 lockdown. Keep an eye on that. Hong Kong opposition lawmakers resign en masse after 4 colleagues expelled from city's parliament. Well, looky there. Didn't we just talk about some kind of law? Nicole is a traitor. Armenian opposition parties lead protest and crisis hit Yerevan, demand resignation of PM Pashinyan. Philippines again suspends plans to order U.S. troops out of the country. Shenzhen, get this, this blows my mind. Shenzhen becomes first Chinese city to make paid leave mandatory to reduce burnout. What? Does that not go against all the propaganda we've been told about how they are? You know, here, our corporations are getting away with dumping all of your labor rights. Looks like China's getting them. Putin praises new Russian nuclear forces control site and insists systems should be simple and reliable like a Kalashnikov. Hey, who can argue that? Safety is the watchword. UK regulator says there is no chance it will compromise on COVID-19 vaccine. Oil prices surge amid hopes coronavirus vaccine means return of global travel. Muslims shouldn't marry non-Muslims and can only do so after seeking official permission, rules the Russian Islamic body. Scientists 3D paint medical implants by blasting titanium powder together at supersonic speeds. I mean, again, the technology and the things that we have, a lot of people look at 2020 and they think COVID-19, they think, the election, they think all of these things, many people have lost their jobs or what have you. It's been a nightmare for a lot of people. But there have been technological advancements in the year 2020 that are trend setting. I mean, literally will change the direction of the future if it's allowed to be developed. If we don't wipe ourselves out or something before then. I mean, it is insane. I cover this stuff every day and I can't remember them all, but the different organs they're 3D printing and this and that and the other thing, the gene work that they're doing, and it is incredible. So 2020's not been all bad. Even if it's been bad for you personally, there is a lot of good things that have happened in 2020. So try to keep that in mind. There are blessings there. And medically, man, have some major advancements been made. And scientifically. Hang on. All right. All kinds of industries have made huge advancements. Canadian PM Trudeau vows not to bow to China's coercive diplomacy amid spat over Huawei exec and spying allegations. Canada's Trudeau promises easy post-Brexit trade deal with UK by the end of the year. Record-breaking weather, central Russia sees warmest ever October and 130 years of regular observations. Manhunt underway for thieves who stole 6.5 million euros from German customs office. China's Sinopharm reports better than expected results from COVID-19 vaccine phase 3 trials. Iran to take any opportunity to lift Washington sanctions after U.S. election, says President Rouhani. Everything is now a pandemic. Bolsonaro tells Brazilians to stop being sissies about COVID. That may not work out real well for him. 4 dead and 1 missing as Greek tanker collides with Turkish fishing boat in East Mediterranean. America no longer neighbor to every country on earth. Nagorno-Karabakh peace deal, evidence of changing world order. Georgia's Secretary of State announces recount by hand amid highly contested U.S. presidential election. Like having billions of tiny 3D printers, scientists, here's another one, scientists train bacteria to build complex microscopic structures. Again, the technology, insane. Big happy family. Kamala Harris's husband, MSNBC analysts, leave jobs to join Biden administration. 11-year-old Muslim student threatened to behead teacher at Berlin primary school, the teacher says. It's about people's lives. Vaccines should not be politicized, and Hungary will work with everyone on COVID-19, says the Hungarian foreign minister. Ban on political adverts extended by Google and Facebook as U.S. election rolls on. Portland official who said most 911 calls are unnecessary and police budgets should be cut calls 911 over a Lyft ride. Working from home, you need to be taxed for the privilege, Deutsche Bank proposes. So Deutsche Bank is proposing that people now working from home should be taxed for the luxury of working from home. Clashes during Poland's Independence Day as marchers lob fireworks and police use rubber bullets. Iran's enriched uranium stockpile is 12 times over nuclear deal limit, says the IAEA. Illinois reports record cases Wednesday, most deaths since May. St. Louis sees record hospitalizations. Gestapo coming to your Thanksgiving. New York Governor Cuomo ripped for new draconian COVID-19 restrictions. Get ready, they're coming everywhere. A man crashes car into North London police station and sets road on fire. Wonder if he was trying to tell him something. Libya peace process breakthrough. Warring parties agreed to hold elections in 18 months, says the UN. U.S. Embassy in Pakistan apologizes for unauthorized post predicting Prime Minister Khan will lose power after Trump defeat. A coup preparation or move to stop endless wars. What's behind Trump's Pentagon purge? Just a good article there. Of course, I have my suspicions. Ticketmaster will require fans to verify vaccination or negative COVID test. I told you about that. License to shoot rioters and looters. Florida governor proposes expanding the Stand Your Ground law. CDC now says masks protect the wearer too, not just others, from COVID-19 transmission. That's Ticketmaster thing too. And there's a number one up there. Surprised there isn't more. Airline groups embrace digital health passports over quarantines as COVID shutdowns continue to cripple industry. Here you go, digital health passports, okay? Meaning you either have to prove you've had the vaccine or a negative test, okay? So there you go. Ticketmaster, now travel, expect it. And I'm telling you, all this stuff is going to come in full force. This is, I've been telling you this for a while now. It is what it is. What can I say? It's not that I have a crystal ball. I have common sense. I mean, this has nothing to do with who the president is. Okay? It doesn't matter if it's Biden or if it's Trump. This is coming. Mark my words. The only difference is if there's this little spat going on, this little battle, the only difference is Trump may wait longer or may refuse entirely to do it. So I would keep an eye out for that. One thing you do not want to do is put your well-beings in another's hands, especially when it's somebody in politics. That's just being foolish. There's a reason to be concerned. Not a reason to freak out, but there's a reason to be concerned. And I thought it was highly interesting when I pointed out about how quickly Fox News did a complete 180 turnaround. And I know there's a mass exodus from Fox News. I get that. These are goofy. These exodus things are goofy. Okay? We all need to get a grip. Oh, we're all going to leave Facebook. We're going to go to Parler. We're going to go to MeWe. Oh, yeah? You realize that right now, if those things weren't built to be a honeypot to begin with, they are now. They are now. I guarantee it. Man, half the people that, were at Malheur Wildlife Refuge and stuff, and I do believe Bundy Ranch, by half the people were informants. You don't think that these websites like Parler and MeWe are crawling with them? Give me a break. Oh, well, they can't see it because they told me it was... Quit. If you can do it, they can access it and decrypt it in real time. You can tell me all the crapola you want about VPNs and this encryption and that encryption and blah, 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 blah. Stop. It's still a connection. Period. It's still a connection. There's still a trail. Period. Just don't do anything on the internet that you wouldn't want the world to know. It's a pretty simple rule. But this mass exodus is funny because they're walking right into it. If I was a government agency that wanted to collect the names of individuals that would possibly be interested in creating an uprising, I think I would start monitoring the websites that they're all fleeing to. That might be a good idea. Jeez. It's unreal. Like I say, it makes no sense to me. I mean, it does. It makes perfect sense to me, but my question is, and this will tell you how much sense it does make to me, when are people going to stop running? Because that's all I ever see. From those that consider themselves on the right. Those on the left have stopped running a long time ago. They stand firm, and that's why you're seeing all of the things that they want being put into place, because they're not sitting at home expecting that a vote every 2 or 4 years is going to give them everything that they want. That's the difference between the left and the right. Many on the right thinks that their vote's all they got to do. Oh, well, maybe cheer or share a meme or two, but that's the end of it. No, it's not. If there's something that you don't like, you have to voice it. You can't. When I say voice it, I'm not talking about memes on Facebook. That gets you nowhere. But see, a lot of people use that as a way to blow off steam. But the entire time that people are using those methods just to blow off steam, your fellow countrymen and women are suffering. Do me a favor, if you're one of those people, please don't call yourself a patriot. Because a patriot is concerned about the well-being of his fellow countrymen and women. Unlike a lot of the stepping down on people that we see in society today. That is not patriotic. It's just the opposite. Actually, socialist, in a sense, or communist, in a sense, to treat others that way. But I've long said that both red team and blue team are pushing for communism. Just one of the two teams admits it. Because thinking that you should dictate how much another makes is communism. Or socialism. And it goes both ways, by the way. Both the government and the people. As far as other people. Okay, in other words, you shouldn't be allowed to dictate how much I make at my job. As long as it's not a publicly held office, you shouldn't be able to tell me how much. You shouldn't have anything to say about how much I make. Period. As I shouldn't have anything to say about how much you make, unless it's a publicly held office. Again, it's in the Constitution. It's all in there. It truly is. Oh, let's see. Yeah, craziness. I think there's a lot of distracting going on. And I think we damn well better be on our toes. Because I think they're going to pull the rug out from under us. I think it's going to catch a lot of people off guard. I think a lot of this stuff is going to catch a lot of people off guard. I think mask restrictions, vaccine mandates, lockdowns. I think it's really gonna blindside folks. We'll see what happens, but I really don't have anything more. Just keep an eye on everything. We got one more day until our weekend starts. And like I say, just keep a close eye. I'm kind of uncomfortable. I didn't see any kind of movement on news or anything of value involving the Pentagon or Department of Defense or anything like that. I don't like it when those guys are quiet. But anyway, I am out of here. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. I hope everybody has a good evening. As always, God bless you. We love you, and be one with your spirit.